You are watching No Filter with Debbie. These are my views and opinions. Welcome to No Filter with Debbie. I'm Debbie Schlussel. And you know what's driving me crazy? That the border fiasco continues and we're not seeing it covered by the mainstream media anymore. Not only does it continue, but the crisis has gotten worse. And it has gotten worse because of one man, Joe Biden. Yes, he's let things not only fester, but he's now engaged in policies that create even more of a crisis. It makes the crisis from like a month or a month and a half ago, when this was heavily in the news, look like a cakewalk compared to what is going on right now. He appointed Kamala Harris as the border czar. Has she visited the southern border yet? I don't think she has. I haven't seen any stories about it. And just 2 weeks ago, the Attorney General of Arizona, a border state that has a lot of illegal aliens seeping into the southern border because nobody is protecting them, the Attorney General of Arizona said that Kamala Harris should be replaced as the border czar. Why? Because she's doing nothing, nada, zilch, a big egg zero. She's not doing a thing. Even if she has gone to visit the southern border, and I don't believe she has. I couldn't find any news stories on it. And you know it would be all over the place. Well, Kamala's visited the southern border. What else do you want her to do? I don't think even the visit is the big thing, although it looks really bad. The big thing is the policies have not changed. Well, they have. That's a lie. They have. They've changed for the worse. And we have so much to show you of how they have changed for the worse that you're just not seeing covered right now. Why? Because they're busy covering other things. They're busy covering the Floyd family visiting the White House 1 year after George Floyd died, and America's still racist. We're still horrible people, and we need to fly flags outside our embassies all over the world about how bad we are. They're still covering those things. They're also covering Joe Biden's $6 trillion budget, something like that. The largest budget ever will not be balanced. They're covering that. That's important, but come on. What is going on at the southern border is a root cause of all the other problems we are having, most of them in this country. Unemployment, that's because they're flooding America with cheap labor. If you don't have a job, first of all, there are plenty of them out there, and maybe you don't want to work for minimum wage because the government in many states is still paying you a lot more to stay home, especially when you factor in the cost of gas and your uniform and other incidentals for a job. But it's not just that. There are Americans who want to work, who are qualified for certain jobs like software programming, and they've been kicked to the curb by foreign labor, and we're now letting them in. You know, COVID, 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 but yet when it comes to COVID, they don't seem to worry about it when it comes to hiring cheap labor and lowering American wages. You know what has happened since the borders were closed? They had to hire Americans. And you know what happened with that under Donald Trump when he closed the borders? They had to raise wages. They had to give workers better benefits. That's what we want. That's pro American. That's America first. But we've got a president who believes in America last, and maybe even beyond last, if that's possible. America off the planet and floating into the ether. That's what he wants. So there's that. Now, I want you to see this tweet. This is from Mark Krikorian. Mark Krikorian is the head of he's one of the top officials of the Center for Immigration Studies. I know this guy. He has done tremendous work on border issues. And if you need to follow somebody, follow him on Twitter. Follow what he's saying because he's got the goods. Take a look at this about the El Paso facility that Joe Biden is using. So they are going to build a new central processing facility in El Paso. Why? Because they want more illegal aliens coming in and they want to speed them through without vetting them, without having to do anything. And they don't want the media to go to the southern border and see kids festering in cages. You know, the ones they whined about when Donald Trump was president. So they're building this new central processing facility in El Paso to hold migrant families and children, as Mark Krikorian said, so the illegal immigrants can be released more quickly and efficiently into the U.S., never to be seen again. And a little later, we will show you a tweet about more evidence that they will never be seen again, and that the Biden administration not only knows that, but is encouraging that. So, the Washington Post, that's not a conservative media outlet. That is a liberal media outlet. It is respected by the mainstream, by the establishment, by the left. The Washington Post has been doing a lot of reporting on this. We've shown you some of the tweets from their reporters, especially the one that covers immigration. And he's broken a lot of stories that are not favorable to the Biden administration's immigration policy. So take a look at these two tweets. We've got a couple of them. So, first, under the new Biden administration rules curtailing immigration enforcement, ICE carried out fewer than 3,000 deportations last month, so in April, the lowest level on record. So, in history, that is the lowest number that we have deported since we began deporting illegal aliens. Do you think we're having the lowest level of illegal aliens coming in? No. You've seen all the stories. We have record numbers coming in. And then we have those are record high numbers. And we have record low numbers of deportation. You know what that means? That means a net huge surplus of illegal aliens coming into this country. A net huge surplus that you will be paying for, whose jobs that you wanted or you wanted for your children and your grandchildren, that will be taken from them, that will never be given to them, that will be given to these illegal aliens, that will, if they do get those jobs, lower their wages and benefits and perks. You want that? I sure don't. That's bad for America. And our economy is bad enough right now, even though it shows signs of improving. And we showed you the signs of improvement aren't there to the extent they should be because of Donald Trump's vaccine. Because Joe Biden mucked it up. He messed it up. All right, so there's that. Now, there's another tweet from the Washington Post to go with that. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas announced plans last week to shutter 2 ICE detention centers. But in an interview, he said he does not want to reduce ICE staffing or funding. He wants to reorient ICE, not shrink it, he said. Now, what does reorient mean? ICE has a purpose, and that is enforcement, immigration and customs enforcement. What does that mean, to reorient? It means that they are not going to be deporting people. They are not going to be enforcing the law. And they haven't been since Joe Biden took office. Now, why are they shutting down those immigration detention centers? And why did they build the processing center that we just showed you? Because they're rushing people in, rushing them through, and they will never be seen again. And they don't want them to be in detention. They just want them in the country, stealing jobs, living on public assistance. Yeah, great for America as we're trying to recover from the artificial shutdown that was COVID. All right, so there's that. Now, before we go to the break, I just want you to take a look at this tweet from Numbers USA, which is a great there's a quote, by the way, from the Washington Post story from those tweets before we get to that. Advocacy groups and lawyers who wield significant influence in the Biden White House are pushing to eliminate even more detention facilities and reduce deportations even further, despite a 20-year high in illegal border crossings. So again, we've got a record high in border crossings, a record low in deportation, and it's still not enough. Now, when we get back from the break, there it is. Wait, let's just look at that. Let's look at that tweet. So, Numbers USA, this is a great secure borders organization. Also follow them if you want to see what's going on at the border. So this is a quote from another story. Most migrants are released so quickly from the South Texas border that they are being discharged without the notice to appear documents that make clear when and where their upcoming immigration hearings are. This is how Secretary Mayorkas secures the border. Now, notices to appear are the paperwork that tell them you need to show up to your hearing to see if you're going to be deported, your hearing at immigration court. My friends at ICE call them notices to disappear because these people don't show up to their hearings. Once they're in, they've got the golden ticket and they are going to enjoy it to the hilt. Very few of these people show up for their hearings. But now they're not even giving them those notices. They're not even going through the motions because they want them in. They don't want to enforce the borders. That's bad for all of us, and it's only getting worse. All right, when we come back, we will show you more about the crisis at the border that seems to have disappeared from your TV news screens. That and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie.
Hi, Hunter Ellis here for Night Hero Binoculars by Atomic Beam. These binoculars let you see anything, even in pitch black darkness. Gotcha.
The secrets are powerful wide-angle atomic beam laser that reveals objects up to 150 yards away, hidden by darkness.
During the day, Night Hero gives you 10 times magnification. And when the sun goes down, press the Night Bright button to see clearly in the dark. Light up garbage-eating critters or spot thieves before they even get close. Call or click now and get Night Hero binoculars for just $39.99. Order right now and you can double it. Plus, get our best-selling atomic beam flashlight, just pay a separate fee. We'll even ship them to you free. This TV special offer is not available on Amazon. You can get it all, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-619-1091. That's 1-800-619-1091. Or visit bynighthero.com. That's bynighthero.com. Order now.
Today's households have more digital devices than ever before. More links to family, business, education, and entertainment. Beck Communications spent over 10 years building North Dakota's fastest fiber optic internet service. Beck Lightband Internet, outpacing speeds in large cities nationwide. Lightband Internet handles all your digital needs without throttling your connection to the world. Beck Communications, valuable digital connections in rural North Dakota.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more.
Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-219-1467.
Attention! Have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Elmiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Elmiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Elmiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-5680.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-230-9210.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie. So we are talking about the crisis on the southern border that has disappeared from your TV screens. You know, the media are like lemmings. They decide, they all collude into what story they are going to cover. And that's the top story. And then that story disappears because it doesn't fit whatever agenda they may have. And let me just tell you, their agenda on the southern border was not, oh, we need secure borders. No, it wasn't. It just happened to collide with our agenda with what's good for America. What they care about is actually what's bad for America. They want all of these illegal aliens in the interior living a life of luxury courtesy of you. So that's why they were upset with the crisis at the southern border. That's why they called it a crisis. That's why they deigned to do that, because they would never do that against Joe Biden unless they had a more far left agenda, which they did and they do, which is to bring them into the country and let them disappear into the great American abyss. And that is happening. And that is why this is no longer on your news screens if you're watching, which you hopefully you have the good sense not to watch, but Good Morning America, the Today Show, the CBS Morning Show, nobody watches that. Or any of the nightly news shows. Again, nobody watches the CBS one. But if you're watching those, you remember the crisis at the border was number one, not because they care about America's national security. They want America's national security to be weak, to be porous. They want these people in the country. And now they're in. And they're coming even more. It's getting worse. So I want you to take a look at this tweet. This is from the chief border patrol agent for the Rio Grande Valley. And in case you don't know about the Rio Grande Valley, he covers 310 miles along the southern border with Mexico. It's a very long stretch. Most of it is unwalled. Most of it is very porous. And I want you to take a look at his tweet about what's going on there. So this is Chief Patrol Agent Brian Hastings. Large groups get larger. Rio Grande Valley agents encounter one group of 206 migrants in Hidalgo, Texas. See, they're getting brave. They used to be in small numbers to not be detected. Now they know if they're detected, doesn't matter because they're still going to get in because that's Joe Biden's policy. Remember, he said, that's who we are. The group consisted of 164 families, 35 unaccompanied children, and 7 single adults. They came from the countries Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, Ecuador, and Belize. Now, let me just ask you, Ecuador, have you heard of any crises in Ecuador? Are people running for their lives from some communist totalitarian government in Ecuador? Heck no, they're not. Not in most of those countries. These are not refugees. These are not people running away from persecution. They're running away from perfectly good lives that are not as good as American lives because they're not living as well as we live here. And they are coming here to do that and to take away our jobs and to live off our public assistance. And Joe Biden is letting them. And that tweet, you saw that. That was from May 24th. Today's what, the 27th? So that was just a few days ago. These situations are only getting worse. So there's that. Now, Alejandro Mayorkas, he has tweeted again. And he tweeted that the Haitian aliens can stay. Remember, there were some earthquakes and hurricanes and whatever that struck Haiti years ago? Well, they're never leaving. Take a look at this. Today, in recognition of the extraordinary and temporary conditions in Haiti, they're not temporary because apparently they've been going on for years. These people are not leaving. I am announcing temporary protected status for Haiti for 18 months. They've already had TPS, temporary protected status, for years. This new designation enables eligible Haitian nationals to apply for protected status, which many of them have already applied for, and they keep reapplying. So this is more of the same. We are now the ashtray for all of the world. All the ashes of all of the cigarettes, they all come here. We get it all. We are the garbage bin. Everybody gets to come here. We have to take them all no matter what. You know what? That doesn't make for a good country. It doesn't even make for a mediocre country, which we are now. It makes for a garbage third world country. When you let the whole third world into America, do they suddenly become first world? No. We become third world. That's how it happens. All right? You want that? I don't. This was the greatest country on earth. What the heck happened? What? Joe Biden happened and a lot of other stuff. Black Lives Matter, all of this. It is all the perfect alignment of the stars to destroy America. So there's that. Now, if that weren't bad enough, Joe Biden, remember he had this thing he calls Build Back Better? Well, apparently his Build Back Better was not to get things better for the little guy. No, it was to build back better for illegal aliens. Take a look at this tweet. Joe's for the little guy who came here illegally. That's from me. So law enforcement today, that's a nonpartisan law enforcement publication. And here's what they published. As countless Americans struggle to make ends meet, the Biden administration is reversing a Trump-era policy that prohibited illegal immigrant college students and international students from receiving federal relief grants. So your kids may not be able to get federal aid, but guess who is? Illegal aliens. You are paying for that. Why? Why are we training people who did not abide by the law, who came here illegally, to be educated and to take jobs? Why are we funding this? Why? There is no good answer except they want to destroy America from within, and they want to create an even larger, forever Democrat voter base so that they can be the forever ruling party. That is on its way to happening if we're not already there. All right, when we come back, we'll have more about what's going on in the border. We've got some quotes from AOC. Remember her? The border supermodel? That and more after these messages on No Filter with Debbie.
Introducing the Cool Turtle, the ultra-comfortable mask enhancer that creates a protective, cool, and breathable space between your mask and your face. Simply slide under any mask or gaiter and immediately feel the refreshing pocket of air surrounding your face. Cool Turtle's ergonomically designed, soft, comfortable shell immediately reduces mask friction, allowing you to breathe and talk in a comfortable environment.
I can actually breathe. With the Cool Turtle, no more sweating.
It's like I don't even have a mask on.
Call now and get not one, not two, but 3 Cool Turtles for just $10. Order now and we'll send you 2 more Cool Turtles free. No fees, absolutely free. Plus, you can get a 10-pack of 4-ply face masks. Just pay a separate fee. This offer is not available on Amazon. Get the real Cool Turtle now.
Call 1-800-270-1219. That's 1-800-270-1219. Or visit getcoolturtle.com. Order now.
Hey Bucks fans, if you're planning an outing, birthday, or employee appreciation night, then bring your group out to the Buck Stop for a night of fast-paced, high-scoring football. Your group will receive discounted tickets, options for reserved seating, scoreboard messages, VIP services, swag, and a space to gather during the game. You can also participate in pre-game ceremonies, halftime entertainment, in-game contests, and more. Call 701-595-0771 or visit bismarckbucks.com/tickets. All GA is first come, first serve. We'll see you on the turf. Go Bucks!
Hey everybody, I'm Doug Billings, your host of The Right Side with Doug Billings on Beck News. We bring you high-profile guests, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive guests. Now, you're not going to see these guests in most of the mainstream media outlets. Another thing that I do here is give guests a platform to speak freely. You're not going to see me censor anybody. Please join us, won't you? Weeknights right here on Beck TV and online at beck.news. Cheers.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
That's why I invented MyPillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled MyPillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm going to pass the savings directly on to you. Go to MyPillow.com right now to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. For example, you can get my premium MyPillows regularly $69.98, now just $29.98, the lowest price ever.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie. So, we are talking to you about what's going on at the southern border. A story that, for a few weeks, maybe even just a week and a half, was suddenly on the radar of the left wing controlled mainstream media. And they were suddenly concerned. But as I told you, they really weren't concerned for the same reasons we were. They were at least covering the story, but they were concerned because they want more illegal alien children and parents into our American non frontier. This isn't the American frontier where we need people to come in and discover things and develop it. We're developed. We're a first world country. So I don't know why we're bringing in people from the third world other than to destroy it from within and to create a bigger Democrat voter base. And those are both of the reasons. And we've been showing you some of what is going on. Now, I want you to take a look at some quotes from AOC. Now, you'll remember she posed like a supermodel at the southern border, and she was just there to take photos. She pretended she was all upset, but then she was posing like, you know, and she was not very serious. She's a fake, she's a phony, just like how she was scared in her office during the January 6th riots or protests. She said she was hiding in her bathroom. She got mad at a Capitol Hill officer. She was blocks away from what was going on. So I want you to take a look at a couple of her quotes from the southern border. So this came out recently from some paperwork and reports that have gotten out from her trip. She said, I, as a woman of color, do not feel safe here. Well, really? Why not? Because all of those people at the southern border are people of color. Are you prejudiced against them? Or are you just prejudiced against the law enforcement who saved your life? You weren't in danger of losing your life, but you claimed you were. So I guess that officer saved your life on Capitol Hill. She also said, this is another quote, Ocasio-Cortez went on to personally admonish and berate an agent. This was a female agent, by the way, after claiming the agent took a selfie with the congresswoman in the background. So you can't take pictures of her. She can only take her supermodel pictures. This is a prima donna. This is a person who is not serious. This is a celebrity. She's a Ms. Thing. She is not a serious person. She's not a person who is in touch with the average American. And we already know this. Why? Because she shops at Whole Foods. Can you afford that place? Most Americans don't have a Whole Foods anywhere in their state. There isn't one in North Dakota, for example. I don't believe. Whole Foods they call it whole paycheck for a reason. You can buy a $13, $14 pint of ice cream there. Yes. Those are the ice creams that Nancy Pelosi, remember she displayed that freezer chock full of them in her house? That was the ice cream. It's $13 or $14 a pint, depending on where you buy it. It's called Jenny's, Jeni''S. Not that we're advertising for Jenny's, but this is what Ocasio-Cortez is like. She goes to that place. That's the kind of food she buys. She drives a Tesla. The average American cannot afford a Tesla. They especially can't afford the $2,000 towing fee when your electric battery charge wears out and you're stuck somewhere. Yeah, it costs $2,000 to tow a Tesla. No joke. All right, so there's that. Now, I want to show you these two tweets from Numbers USA on the H-1B visas. Now, H-1B visas are the special worker visas. Some of them are for special talents, like you're a software programmer, because apparently there are no software programmers that are born in America, which we know is a lie. And there are other special worker visas for certain skills that, for the most part, it's a sham because the people who get these H-1B visas, they work at the same jobs that Americans are able to do. And it's just to drive the wages down and get cheap labor for businesses like Disney, woke businesses like Disney. So take a look at these tweets from Numbers USA. All right, so everyone knows the H-1B program is used to displace Americans and to drive down wages and bargaining power for workers in those occupations. When he was Fed chair, Alan Greenspan openly testified to this fact to Congress. And they also say, in addition to the harm done by the H-1B program, Obama began giving H-4 visas or work authorization to spouses of H-1B holders. The Trump administration sought to end it, and the Biden administration reversed this decision. Yeah, that's how you build back better, right? Immigration system should operate to benefit the American people, not the cheap labor lobby. Absolutely right. Now, Todd Bensman, this is a journalist I know and respect. He's phenomenal. He's done great work on Islamic terrorists in our midst. And he also does a lot of great work on other national security related issues like the southern border. So he went to the southern border and he took video, but he also tweeted about it. First, let's look at the tweet. On our night hike down to the Rio Grande last night was this constant traffic going the other way. This is just like what the chief Border Patrol agent at the Rio Grande Valley said. And he's got this video. So take a look at this video.
¿Cuántos son? ¿Y vienen caminando solos? Párese tantito, soy Pastor Luis de aquí de la iglesia de Betel. ¿Qué tiene usted, señora?
Me golpeé el pie.
Se golpeó el pie. ¿Cuántos vienen? ¿Viene más gente o no viene más gente?
No sabemos, solo nosotros venimos pasando.
Ok, déjeme, voy a hablarle a alguien. Porque traigan agua o así. Entonces, ¿a qué horas pasaron?
So you saw that. That's a huge group of people. They're getting braver and they're not afraid of us because they know that Joe Biden has given them the pass, go and collect $200 sign, or in this case, probably $2,000 when they get here in terms of the benefits they'll be showered with just walking into the country. They are getting brave. There are going to be more and more of those videos with larger and larger groups like that. All right, then there's also this tweet from Bill Malugin from Fox in LA. New, we've only been here about an hour and already a large group of 46 migrants just crossed the Rio and presented themselves to local deputies here in Del Rio, Texas. Several of the migrants I asked said that they are coming from Venezuela, just like yesterday. Well, we don't know where they're all really from. How are we going to check this? Do you think the Venezuelan government, which is our enemy, which is Marxist totalitarian, that they are going to tell us, yes, this person is really from our country? It's not going to happen. We are not going to know where these people are really from. We have no way of checking, and most of them are not persecuted. And I would bet that many of them are not from Venezuela. So we're almost at the break, but we'll show you this video that went along with that tweet.
Hola, ¿de dónde eres? ¿Venezuela?
Niña.
Hola, ¿de dónde eres?
Venezuela.
Venezuela.
You good? Bueno.
So they say they're from Venezuela. Even if they're from Venezuela, do we have room in this country for the whole Venezuela? No, we do not. We don't have room for most of these people that are coming in. They are taking our jobs. All right, when we come back, Caitlyn Jenner actually has a position on this that greatly, saddens me. And also, there's a guy I hope doesn't come to the border, but unfortunately, we're letting a lot of people like him in. Who is he? What don't I like about him? You'll see after these messages on No Filter with Debbie.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of MyPillow. Thanks to your support, you've helped make MyPillow become one of the fastest growing companies in America. Over the last 12 years, you've helped MyPillow create thousands of jobs right here in the USA.
When I got MyPillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well rested in the morning.
That's why I invented My Pillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. I'm interrupting this commercial right now. Retailers have canceled My Pillow, and to thank you for your support, I'm going to pass the savings directly on to you. For example, you get my 6-piece towel sets, regular $109.99, now only $44.98, or My Pillow dog beds for as low as $19.99 with your promo code.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. This drug remains approved by the FDA. If you or a loved one regularly took Zantac and were later diagnosed with cancer, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Potential cancers include bladder cancer, colon cancer, kidney cancer, stomach cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer. Do not stop taking a prescribed medication without first consulting with your doctor. Discontinuing a prescribed medication without your doctor's advice can result in injury or death.
Call 1-800-230-9210.
Seniors, are you aware that you could pay less for your car insurance?
Seniors can save money on their car insurance.
You might save a little, you might save a lot.
Maybe hundreds of dollars a year.
You might save 5% a year, maybe 10%, 15%, or even more.
That's a lot of money.
So call right now and find out just how much money you might be able to save.
1-800-699-0761. 1-800-699-0761.
Hi, it's me, Anthony Sullivan. And yes, you've actually caught me at home relaxing because life's been pretty worry-free since I got coverage with American Residential Warranty.
You won't believe what ARW covers. Heating and air conditioning, washers and dryers, kitchen appliances, plumbing, water heaters, electrical systems, flat screens and laptops, even pools and spas, and so much more.
Call American Residential Warranty. They'll get you covered.
1-800-219-1467.
He once won a spelling bee in an ancient language that he did not speak. He is the only man to ever earn extra credit on an IQ exam. His academic degrees are considered legitimate spending currency in 22 nations, 2 principalities, and at Chick-fil-A restaurants in the United States and Western Canada.
I do not always engage with education programming, but when I do, it is the Dr. Duke Show.
Stay educated with the Dr. Duke Show, weekdays at 4 p.m. on Beck News.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie. So we're talking about the crisis at the southern border that continues and is getting even worse, but the media won't tell you about it now because after them covering it as the crisis that it is, they've gotten their wish. And we showed you this. Joe Biden is processing these people through very quickly. He's taking them out of detention centers, shutting down the detention centers, and building processing centers, not even giving them notices to appear, just letting them in. And then he's giving them all kinds of visas to work here and all kinds of stuff because, like Joe Biden said, that's who we are. Yeah, really. So, unfortunately, though, Caitlyn Jenner, I was so excited about the Caitlyn Jenner run for governor in California, even though this person got rid of his, when he was Bruce Jenner, got rid of his genitals, added on fake ones. That does not make what was a male into a female. The chromosomes and DNA are still male. But I was excited about the very Reagan-esque statements and positions. And even on the trans sports issue with trans male to female, male from birth athletes competing against girls and women in college and high school. Caitlyn Jenner had the right position on that. Unfortunately, on illegal aliens, Caitlyn Jenner supports amnesty. Yes, a path to citizenship. So maybe this is the same as Reagan in bra and panties, because Reagan actually did push amnesty for all these illegal aliens we had in our midst. We were told by Reagan and by Senator Alan Simpson, then the senator of Wyoming, that this is the last time we're ever going to give amnesty to illegal aliens. The last time. The last time. The last time. And of course, it's never the last time. There's been many last times after that. And I don't need to say the word last anymore to make my point. We all know there have been many bills giving them paths to citizenship since Ronald Reagan in the early to mid to late 80s. There's been more of that. So Caitlyn Jenner's position is just wrong. But Caitlyn Jenner's trying to win California, where something like 25% at least of the population is Hispanic. And they think that's a winning issue. Many Hispanic people, that's not a winning issue. They want people to come here legally. They don't want their kids' jobs taken either. They don't want their wages lowered either. All right, so there's that. Now, I have a story that you're going to ask, what does this have to do with the southern border or Joe Biden's immigration policies? And I'll tell you. But first, I have to have you take a look at this guy. Take a look at this. We have the headline and then the picture. Take a look. Zimbabwean father, 66, with 16 wives and 151 children, has a strict 4 times a night sex schedule to keep his family growing. 66 years old, this guy, and he wants to marry more women. And he hopes to have 100 wives. He's marrying his 17th in winter 2021. So this guy has basically bested Philander Rodman. Remember Dennis Rodman's father who said he had 69 children? All right, so there is, with 27 women, there's this guy. His name, again, is Mishak Nyandoro, and he's Muslim. You see the one wife with the yellow hijab, Muslim head covering to his right and our left. And you see the other women. They've all have their heads covered in headscarves. They are Muslim. And what does this have to do with America and the southern border? I'll tell you. Because Joe Biden is letting anybody and everybody in. You think this is the only guy like that? It isn't. There are other guys like that. They're coming to this country. And the question is, when Joe Biden lets them in, how many mosques will they populate? And how quickly will they change the character of America? It's already changed. It's already changing even more. I just told you that something like 25% of California is Hispanic. I'm not anti-Hispanic. I like Hispanics as much as I like the next guy. But the bottom line is, we cannot let people in from any country, Hispanic or anywhere else, just easily, wantonly like that. And we also have to be selective. We don't need people coming in who have 17 wives and 151 children or 16 women. We don't need people like that who don't have beliefs that we have. We don't need a family of 151 children and 16 wives immediately on our public welfare assistance, on the dole. We don't, but that's what we are getting. Maybe not in such large numbers, but we're getting them. So the question is, will we turn away families like this? And the answer is a resounding no, not under Joe Biden. Anybody is coming in. You saw that. You saw the numbers I showed you, a record low deportation. In the Washington Post, record high levels of immigration. That is what's going on in America. But there is hope, and we will show it to you after these messages on No Filter with Debbie.
Do you worry about going to the dentist? After all, a visit to the dentist can easily cost $2,000 or more. Well, relax. The Carefree Dental Card is now available in your area. Call now and we'll send your actual card at no cost today. With the Carefree Dental Card, you go to the dentist whenever you need and you instantly pay a lot less. Activate your card and you can start using it immediately. From exams and cleanings to more expensive procedures like crowns, dentures, even braces, they're all included with the Carefree Dental Card. Say you go to the dentist today without any card and your bill is, well, ouch. Wait a minute, let's try that again. You go to the dentist today and show your Carefree Dental Card, you save $525. The Carefree Dental Card is just $15.95 a month, so call now and make going to the dentist carefree.
Call 1-800-416-5739 to receive your Carefree Dental Card information kit. 1-800-416-5739. Call now.
At Beck Communications, we've been planning for your future. Over the past decade, we've placed nearly 200,000 miles of dedicated fiber optics in the ground, enough fiber optic strands to circle the world 8 times. Taking no shortcuts, we connected every home and business in our service area with dedicated fiber optics. It's your personal, unrestricted, unthrottled connection to the world. Best of all, this dedicated fiber means you do not share your connection. We call this intimate dedicated connection Beck Fiber.
I can't say enough good things about these nano hearing aids.
Real people talking about nano hearing aids.
The hearing quality is great.
Until now, hearing aids used to be too expensive for the average person. Until nano. Call now and you'll get your nano hearing aids for only $297. You'll save $100. When you buy one hearing aid, Nano will give you a second hearing aid free. Call right now.
1-800-213-3815.
Hop in the rig and go down the road with me. We'll cover local and national stories that impact you. What happens with national debt? Does anybody even care anymore? Do you think Governor Burgum truly understands the legislative process?
You know, I think he's got a better understanding now than he did 2 years ago.
Why in the world are we having a conversation about being anti-vaccination? Down the road with Joel Heitkamp weekdays at 5:30 Central on Beck News and online at beck.news.
Attention! Have you or a loved one suffered from maculopathy, a serious retinal injury, after taking the prescription drug Almiron for interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome? In 2018, a researcher at the Emory School of Medicine linked Almiron, a prescription drug that treats interstitial cystitis or bladder pain syndrome, to maculopathy, which is sight-threatening and can cause an abrupt change of vision. Call Almiron Justice for a free legal consultation.
Please call 800-395-5680.
Welcome back to No Filter with Debbie. So I said before the break that there might be hope, and I want you to take a look at these Biden approval polls, and this is from a tweet. Check this out. All right, so this is from Poll Project USA, and this is President Biden's job approval. This is from the beginning of the month, May 5th, so we're talking about 3 weeks ago, and his job approval is not very good. Look at this. He's got approved 49%, disapprove 46%. So disapprove has gone up 5. Approve has gone down 2. And that is within the margin of error. So he is not getting such good numbers. That is not good at all. And this is not a conservative push poll where they ask questions to get the right answer and the numbers they want. This is from The Economist, which is a left-of-center economic magazine, and YouGov, which is nonpartisan. So that is not very good for Joe Biden, and I think Americans see what he's doing to this country. I don't think all of them are idiots. Unfortunately, just a lot of them are idiots who voted for him, and then there's a lot of phantom voters that we know happened from mail-in voting and lack of signature checks and so on. And lack of ID checks. So there's that. Now, I want you to take a look at this video because I think it does not age well, and it's only from a few weeks ago. Take a look at this video from Joe Biden.
Flare-ups could occur, but if the unvaccinated get vaccinated, they will protect themselves and other unvaccinated people around them. If they do not, states with low vaccination rates may see those rates go up, may see this progress reversed. Ultimately, those who are not vaccinated will end up paying the price. The vaccinated will continue to be protected against severe illnesses, but others may not. But given that the vaccination is convenient and free.
Those who are not vaccinated may end up paying the price? No, they're not paying the price. Here's the thing. 60% of Americans have had one shot. That means they're not fully vaccinated, all of them. Some of them are, many are not. But guess what? We have natural immunities. There is herd immunity already. Look up Dr. Marty Makary, M-A-K-A-R-Y, in the Wall Street Journal. Has written a lot about this. Is an infectious disease specialist. and very well known from very prestigious institutions. And he says that many Americans have had this COVID and they don't know it. So there is a lot of natural immunity from the antibodies. He says that probably 70 to 80% of Americans are already either vaccinated or have herd immunity. And he says we're not going to pay the price. And I think the figures bear that out. Look at the numbers of people who have COVID. The numbers of new cases are at an all-time low since January. They said it was going to get so worse. Remember, we showed you the quote from the new CDC head, and she said, we're doomed. We're not doomed. That never happened. Nobody's paying the price. It's just a scare tactic. He's so full of it. Don't get your medical advice from Joe Biden, non-MD, just like Jill Biden is a non-MD. Neither of them are doctors. So there's that. Now, I told you about how the media has this herd mentality, not herd immunity, but herd mentality, where they all cover the same stories and then they don't. Suddenly the stories have disappeared. The one at the southern border. Another story, this is from Monday morning, has suddenly disappeared. And this was where the media was all outraged. Who were they outraged about? Somebody you probably never heard of, Roman Protasevich. Who's Roman Protasevich? He's an activist slash journalist, or a journalist slash activist from Belarus. And the plane that he was on was escorted by MiG jets into Belarus to put him in jail, to arrest him. Now, I don't support totalitarianism. I don't think anybody should be arrested that way just for being an activist or allegedly a journalist. But here's the thing. Why are they saying he's a journalist and an activist? You cannot be both. But unfortunately, the lines have blurred. Every single so-called journalist you see on TV now is not a journalist. They are activists. They pretend to be journalists, but they're not. They're not objective. They have agendas, and they are openly pushing agendas. It used to be they had to keep their agendas quiet. Now they're in your face about it. They're telling you America's racist, Donald Trump is lying, the big lie, Donald Trump encouraged violence, this and that. They are telling you things that are their opinion. They're not covering a story objectively. So I think it's interesting they're calling this guy journalist slash activist. You really cannot be both. Unless you're just an opinion journalist and all you're writing is op-eds. But these people are not. They're pretending to be reporting from the scene objectively. And they aren't. And Anthony Blinken put out a statement about this on a tweet. Take a look. We strongly condemn the Lukashenko, and it's not Lukashenko, it's Lukashenko. If you're the Secretary of State of the United States, you probably should get it right. The Lukashenko regime's brazen and shocking act to divert a commercial flight and arrest a journalist. Again, he's not a journalist, he's an activist, an opposition activist. We demand an international investigation and are coordinating with our partners on next steps. The United States stands with the people of Belarus. Well, you know what? If you stand with the people of Belarus, you probably should stay out of this conflict. It's not in America's interest. Why do we care either way? I love how he's concerned about that, but yet he does not care when it's a conservative activist or journalist that's roughed up in the United States, or when there are Jews in the United States and around the world that are being attacked by Muslims, because he does not want to anger them. He picks his battles. He's not consistent. He's a hypocrite. All right, so there's that. All right, now, there is an AP reporter, or there was, and she was fired over the weekend. So her name is Emily Wilder, and she also is, this is where the line blurs. AP is supposed to be objective, but they're not. Associated Press. So I want you to take a look at Emily Wilder of the headlines. This woman is a Hamas activist. She's a self-hating Jew who hates Israel and Hamas. So this was when she was hired. AP hires anti-Israel activist as news associate. Now, and plus they shared office space with Hamas. Now, why would they hire somebody who's an activist as a so-called journalist? Because they're not hiring journalists anymore. They're just activists for an agenda. Remember that anytime you hear about AP and how they're upset that their Hamas building was destroyed. All right, now take a look at this other headline. Over 100 AP staffers sign open letter condemning the firing of Emily Wilder. You know what? Those 100 staffers are not objective journalists. They should have a problem with an activist being hired to report on stories. She is not objective, period. She just isn't. All right, now I want you to take a look at this video because it's The Who's Roger Daltrey, and he has it right. Take a look.
Because it's becoming so absurd now with AI doing all the tricks it can do, and the woke generation. It's terrifying the miserable world they're going to create for themselves. I mean, anyone who's lived a life and you see what they're doing, you just know that it's a route to nowhere, especially when you've lived through the periods of a life that we've had the privilege to. I mean, we've had the golden era. There's no doubt about that. But we came out of a war. We came out of a leveled society, completely flattened bomb sites and everything. And we built that. We've been through socialist governments. We've seen the communist system fail in the Soviet Union. I've been in those communist countries while they were communist. I've seen how wonderful, really, it was.
I never take advice from a rock star, but I have to tell you, Roger Daltrey is spot on. Woke is making us a miserable society, and it's going nowhere. It's horrible. All right, now before we go, I just want to show you a headline about Gwyneth Paltrow. Take a look. Do we have that, the tweet or the headline? All right, Gwyneth Paltrow broke down and ate bread during the quarantine. How did you surprise yourself? And take a look at this tweet. We have a tweet to go with this. Gwyneth Paltrow broke down and ate bread during the quarantine. What was your lowest point? Your lowest point was eating bread? This is how out of touch Hollywood is. Let them eat cake. I ate bread. Oh no, carbs. Remember, these Hollywood celebrities aren't what they seem, and neither are most things. See you tomorrow.